Hello, this is John from the Red Corner.
And this is Daniel from the Blue Corner.
And today we've got a little something special for you. I'm going to go through my top 10 games from 2021. What?
You've played 10 games?
I have played 10 games since 2021.
That's
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Daniel thinks I never play games because my opinions are so bad, but that's not true. I do play games. And actually, just to kind of give a little background to this list, it might not exactly be my top 10 list, but if you've watched our March Madness of board games, you know that there's different brackets, and different people submit different brackets, and they need 16 games in that bracket. So one year, 2021, I submitted 16 supposedly my top games. I really tried to make it games that I own, that I really like, that set me apart maybe from the other brackets. So, but they were supposed to be games that
was not the
really,
rules.
that I really
the rules
liked.
was give me your top 16,
we
but
go.
half the people always go, I'm going to give you 16 good games. I'm like, that's not what I asked for. So to this day, I say that these are John's top 10, whether he likes it or not.
So in any event, we're going to revisit this top 10, see if it's still accurate, or if I've maybe moved on. Maybe I've grown as a gamer. Maybe I've shrunk as a gamer. We don't know. Maybe I like simpler games now.
As you
Maybe
get older,
like
I
more
hear
complex
board
games.
game shrinkage is a problem.
It's a problem, especially when you're playing in a cold room.
All right.
Okay, so let's hit right to number 10 on my list, possibly number 1 in your heart, and that is Catan, or Settlers of Catan, or whatever you want to call it, or Settlers, whatever you want to call it.
You're that person who still likes Catan.
I'm that person who had it on there as number 10, and I'll tell you what, I do still really like Catan, and I still have never turned down a play of it, because unlike in the past, we don't sit down and just play 5 games of Catan in a night and then call it a day. Now, it's like, hey, we haven't played Catan in a while.
Yeah.
You know, let's play some Catan. And if there's 4 or 3 people, then I'm all in.
Okay.
If it's playing the 6-player board, especially with 5 people,
oh
my gosh, you've heard of multiplayer solitaire?
Yes.
That's what Catan turns into.
Really?
Oh my gosh, because the board is so huge, and you have building phase.
Okay.
So there's no chance of getting caught with any cards, which is
Gotcha.
part of the big stressor in Catan. Whereas like, I'll build a road. There we go. Now I can't lose any cards. Great.
Why not?
Great. Whatever. Terrible. And even with 6 players, I just don't like the big board at all. So I would rather have. I don't know why people like that. Nobody likes playing 4 people on the small board, and I love 4 people on the small board. One person usually gets hosed. I'll say that.
That's why you don't want to be the one person.
Don't be the one person.
But what if you are?
Well, then that's
a bad
experience. It can be.
You gotta avoid bad experiences.
Fight for your right to Catan, man. It's not going to be handed to you.
Is it Catan or Catan?
Catan is what I say.
Catan.
Yeah, a lot of people
Let
say
us
Catan.
know in the comments.
If you're fancy, it's Catan.
Write out what it is in the comments.
If you roll the dice with your pinky up, it's Catan.
Catan. All right. Well, where is it today?
Today, it's definitely in my top 30.
Okay.
But it's not in my top 10.
Not a top 10 game.
Not top 10 game. It's not something I'm like, I can't remember the last time I brought it to a game night, put it that way. It's on my shelf at home. We'll break it out when people come over and want to play it. Then I'll break it out. I don't remember ever bringing it anywhere. Maybe because everybody has it. I don't know, but
that's not why.
Yeah, no. Daniel says that's not why.
No one's asked you to bring it. All right. Well, let's move on to your number 9.
On to number 9 on the list, which might surprise some people. Number 9, I had Splendor of all things.
You're 2 for 2 for games that aren't wonderful, but I'm glad you play them.
There you go. I think the reason Splendor made it on the list is it was shortly after we got the big playmat, which a playmat, neoprene mat, always adds enjoyment to a game. But not only that, I got the set of expansions, which if you're not familiar with Splendor, it comes with is it like three expansions in the game? 3 or 4 expansions come in a box. And you can mix and match them. You can play them together, whatever.
Okay.
One of them is lame, and it just makes the game last longer. So I haven't played with that one.
That's my kind of.
It's pretty bad. But the other ones are really cool, and they really changed the game up. They added some different strategies to it, and so it really invigorated the game for me at the time. And so I was playing it quite often, and my wife really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's how it made it on my list, and actually snuck up to number 9, which is pretty high for a game like Splendor.
I gotta admit, I give Splendor a hard time. It's not a bad game. It just never clicked with me. I played that game like a good 20 to 30 times, which is a lot for me.
That is a lot.
And I don't think I've ever won it. So after a while winning's not everything, after a while, you do realize, I don't get this game. Like, I don't know how it works. So I stopped spending my time on it. So I'm going to tell everybody it's a horrible game to make me feel better.
It's a horrible game. That's why Daniel can't win.
That's right. That's right.
But
where's it at now?
It's definitely not in my top 10. But it's another game though that in the right circumstances I'll definitely play it. Okay. Like I say, I almost always top 50. Okay. I would always want to play with the expansions though. At least one of them thrown in, if not multiple, because it just really makes the game a lot more fun. But so there's sense. Number 9.
Number 9.
All right, number 8 on the list.
This one will shock you.
Number 8 is Funkoverse.
What?
Yeah!
I'm so shocked.
I'm so sure you are.
I actually am.
Well, at the time I was playing it a lot.
That's true.
This is
I even gave you my Funko stuff.
You did, and it got played. Unlike some things that thanks, and it sits there and you get played. Yeah. No, it got played. And I think the deal was I was aware of Unmatched at the time.
Uh-huh. The superior game.
Unmatched had not come out with Marvel yet.
That is accurate.
That's what I was waiting for. It's like if they come out with Marvel, which was rumored, I'm going to start playing me some Unmatched. Okay. So, yeah, Funko is nowhere on my list of anything I'm going to play. I've gotten rid of all my Funko stuff. I've got all the Unmatched Marvel and all the sets that I really like Cobble and Fog and stuff like that. So
and Buffy?
I don't have Buffy. However, one of my best experiences
was
when I played as Dracula versus somebody as Buffy.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Did you win as Dracula?
I was Dracula.
Yeah, Buffy's supposed to be not really good. So.
I heard the whole set's pretty bad. But that was pretty cool. Just thematically to play. And thematic, that's what it is. The game is so thematic. It's especially for a just playing card fighting game. So
it's very thematic when Shakespeare fights King Arthur. Very thematic.
Yes, that would be. That's pretty cool.
So I gotta say about Funko, like it had a lot of potential. And I say potential. I think it's a great game. I think it's a lot of fun, but you can only have so many boxes, and those Funko guys are so big, and it's like it takes up space really quick. And this is coming from somebody who has a lot of Unmatched and Marvel Legendary and Marvel United. It's like eventually you got to go, that's just too big.
Yeah,
I just can't deal with that. And for me, that's what Funko was. I just could not store it anymore. But I love that mechanic of like you can build your team based on colors.
That is kind of
cool. Then like if these two trigger on blue and this one triggers on red, well, you now have 2 blues and a red, and you can use those blues for the one guy. You don't have to use it for one for each. Yep. So I thought that was a really cool. And then the cooldown mechanic. It's like this was a 3 power, so now it takes 3 turns to cool down. Funko is a really cool skirmish game. But I'll say that it's for what I was expecting going in, it was way better than I thought. I mean, I was expecting it just to be kind of a turd of a game to sell a bunch of more Funkos. And and it was actually some thought into this game. And there was there was actual game in there. But and the cooldown track, while I liked it, it was easy to forget to move it, or did I already move that down in between? Sure, I could see that.
Did I? What turn did I do that? Yeah, so that's the only problem with the cooldown track. But I like the idea of it.
So still a good game for you?
It's still a good game. I don't know if it's in the top 50 though, because
just never play it again.
I will probably never play it again. So how can it be in the top 50? So,
I don't know. Yeah. How could it?
So adios, Funko.
See ya.
On to number 7. Number 7 on my list is City of Spies, which I guess the full title is City of Spies Estral 1944. Is that what it is?
1942. I see
you have it on your shelf. You have it as well. Which is ironic because I learned it from Daniel. And
I learned it from you, Daniel.
From you, all right. I learned it incorrectly, but I did learn it from Daniel.
That's how you know it was learned from me.
So at least I got the basics down correctly, but the details not so much until I got it and read the rules myself. But this is one of the few games that I played your copy, and then I saw the expansion on sale like super cheap online and bought that before I even had the game. Because I'm like, I'm going to buy this game because it is so cool. If you've never played Estral or City of Spies, Estral 1942, it's a really cool game set in Estral, which is what, Spain? Is that right?
Sure, we'll go with Spain.
And it's the artwork is also cool, and it's all you're dealing with these really cool looking spies. Some of them can kill people, some of them can lure people, some can do other things, and so
I wonder if the artwork is the same people who did the Raiders of the North Sea, because it looks like that.
It's similar looking, but it was before all those. So it was
still could be that artist.
I know, but it was very unique, very unique at the time for sure. And it's still probably in my top 10, to be honest.
Okay.
I love that game.
Didn't you get rid of it?
No, I own the game.
Oh, I thought you got rid of it recently.
No way, Jose.
Yeah, and also I thought about this too. It's actually very much like Fantasy Realms. It's just there's a board on it.
Oh, I got you. Because you have a hand, and you always have the same hand size.
And you're scoring that hand size at the end of the game.
This is true.
And they said Red Risings is Fantasy Realms
with a board.
But City of Spies
never thought about
was
that.
Fantasy Realms before Fantasy Realms.
Right.
So some could say Red Rising is just a longer and inferior version of City of Spies.
Could be.
That's what I like to say.
That is a good thing to say.
Yeah.
Except your guys aren't really cards; they're like little cardboard things. But
sure,
and that's what's so cool about the game too is you only have a set hand size, and you're trying to have spies with abilities to get other spies, but you're also trying to have spies with attributes that are going to score you at the end of the game, and some of them also score points on their own. And so it's like, oh yeah, it's some very crunchy decisions. Yeah. What's ones you're going to keep in your hand from round to round. So.
And the board play is fun too, because sometimes you play them face down, sometimes you play them face up. They'll start killing each other, so you put something down you really wanted, and you end up losing it because somebody assassinated them. You're like, dang it.
Yeah. And you might like put something in there just to mess with people. Like, I'm actually going to use this one to drag it over here later on. So I don't even care that it's there.
That's right.
So yeah, very good game. Yeah, still in my top 10. Not sure where. Maybe I'll make a list here soon. Ooh. But yeah, it's got to still be in my top 10.
All right.
Number 6 on my list is Small World, which is, another classic. Who would think that? I'm like such a Cult of the New guy, and then I've got all these classics on
me.
That's so
Chris
weird.
Should be proud of you.
He probably would be. Yeah. He probably would be.
And, no, he would say, why did you pick those games to be Cult of the Old with?
Where's all the 18XX?
That's right.
But Small World, if you've never played it, and if you've played Risk and you're looking for a modern update to Risk, it takes luck out of the game of Risk because it's all just pure decision making, and I do love how the factions work. How you have a race, and then you have this attribute that goes with your race, and that's going to affect how many of them you have. It's going to affect what they can do on the board, and it makes literally every game is different. There's no two games are the same with Small World, and it's a small world. You're crammed in there fighting each other. There's no way to get around it. You can't just go hide in a corner somewhere and hope to get points. So and it's quick.
Yeah,
that's another thing. It's quick. That's it. I'm going to play Small World again.
I was just thinking,
I'm falling in love with it again.
That's a great game debate, I think.
Might be.
Because you know what? Chris actually likes it too. Yeah. I gave him my copy of Small World Underground. Underworld. Yeah. But I sell Small World of Warcraft, and I ended up picking that one up.
I've not played that.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. So I picked it up though because it was on sale, and I mean, Small World's a cool game.
Yeah.
And World of Warcraft is great.
So it adds like the cool Warcraft stuff in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I like it. So where is it for you? I haven't seen you play it or mention it in
I've actually played it a few times. I played it with Andy not too long ago, and I played it at a math trade when we were waiting for stuff to happen.
Okay.
And so it gets played somewhat.
Okay.
Not a lot. It's probably not in my top 10. But it's another one of those kind of, I would rate it higher than Catan as far as my wanting to play it, kind of a thing. I would play it sooner than I would play Catan if I was offered both. But they're both definitely top 50. So I mean, it's still going to be up there a little ways. But
you know what? A little behind the scenes here. We talked about doing a 100, and John said he doesn't know if he's played 100 games. So when he says he says top 50, he means it's a game I played. I played that game.
This is like proof that I'm terrible at making lists. I really am bad about rating anything. You tell me top 5 movies from the 80s. I have no clue. I know which ones I like. I don't know how to rate them. And I'm the same way with board games, unfortunately. So rating 100 just seems such a daunting task to me. But I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. But
well, if you use board game or Pub Meeple is what it is.
Yeah.
It
just
rates
go
it
through
for
everything and rate and see what it does.
Yeah.
I guess I could try this. It's just that I have a job already. But anyway,
you know.
So that's Small World.
All right.
All right, now we're getting into the top 5. And number 5 for me in 2021, was Fantastic Factories.
That's right.
Which this might have been another one where it's like, hey, I just got the neoprene mat.
Oh.
And the neoprene mat's really cool.
So the neoprene mat is the opposite of the big box treatment. You get the big box treatment. You never play the game again.
Oh,
you get
I see. Neoprene mat that makes you want to play
you're
it.
like, I gotta play this.
There you go.
I got a new cool table.
I hope you're wrong about that. I just ordered the big box for Canvas.
Canvas is the size of Ticket to Ride. You're now the third person who said that, which means my big box experience is rubbing off on people.
Yes.
But it's the size of Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
It's actually
just
a reasonable
box
size that will be taken to places.
That's part of what got me to do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's gonna be cool. Anyway, we're getting off the subject. But what were we talking about? We're talking about Fantastic Factories, which I did feature as my best industrial game, and what I consider one of our best episodes.
Yeah, that's right. Episode 38.
38, I think it was.
I'll put it down here if I'm wrong.
Yeah. If you haven't watched that one, check it out. That is definitely one of our better episodes. But
it definitely is.
But Fantastic Factories. I just love the little decisions that you make. How you're running. You get this engine up and going, and you get some dice mitigation going, and you roll your dice, and you're like, oh my god! When you get a good roll, it's just so satisfying. And when you can just do things to mitigate it, and then you're producing your little widgets. I got 5 widgets this round, and so it's really cool. I've always gone the widget route. I've never gone the build a whole bunch of buildings route, because that's another way to end the game is you build a bunch of buildings.
Which one's faster?
I don't know.
To end the game, because that's the one I go
That's
with.
the one you would go. You're probably building the buildings. That's probably what you're going to do.
I played it once with you at the Evans house. I remember thinking it was fine. Anything that's like dice rolling, I'm always iffy on, because I like rolling dice, but I need heavy dice mitigation. Yeah. And if it's not there, then I feel like it was a waste of time.
Okay, we need to play Fox Experiment for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely. But that one is still probably top 30. But,
top 30?
But
okay.
Yeah, top 30, but not
probably not a game he's
10.
played before and he likes.
There you go. That's what that means. All right. Number 4 gets us to the Isle of Cats, which is one we might feature on a great game debate.
With a guest, maybe.
If we can get that arranged. A surprise guest that you will love. But the Isle of Cats, once again, this is right after COVID, is when I made this list. And I was playing.
Cats were all the rage.
They were all the rage. No, but I was playing Isle of Cats a lot with my wife because we were home a lot, and she loved that game. And we did kind of Daniel rules on it. We didn't, so we kind of played, it was kind of like Isle of Cats adjacent, the way we played it. But anyway, one of the main things in the Isle of Cats is you're drafting cards.
Okay.
And we just dealt them out. It's like,
that's not me.
Like, we're gonna. I know. I'm just messing with you.
What are you talking about?
Well, because we did it wrong.
Oh, got it. Okay, but no, that's fair.
But it made for a quicker game. It's like we're not like that. It wasn't that to be that competitive. It was just the challenge of getting the cats in there.
I turn games that are not drafting games into
drafting games. We did the opposite.
That's the superior way to play any game.
And we did the opposite. We're just like, you get what you get.
Yeah.
Well, I only had 1 basket this turn, so I can only go 1 cat. I had 5 baskets.
Poker better when you draft cards.
Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? Like there was an ace in here last time. I know somebody's got it. Okay, but anyway, Isle of Cats. It's still once again this one. This is so funny how this ended up being the thing. I got the neoprene mat, but there's the funny thing: they don't make a neoprene mat for this. How about that?
Wait,
now what do you think? Now what do you think? But you can get
a witch?
I went. There's a place that you can order custom neoprene mats, and I just used. A guy had an image of all the stuff that you need. No, not of his cat. Of all the stuff that you need on the mat, like all the stuff that comes with it, the board and he had a little picture for the field, little picture for this field, and where to put everything, and you just order what size you want, and boom, here it is, and it's everything that comes in the game, and it's on a mat. Unofficial. But I'm not making money on it. I'm just using it for my game. That's right. So there you go.
But if you want it, ask him.
There you go. I'll sell it to you at a huge profit.
That's right.
Yes. But Isle of Cats, still one I will play. Probably top 30.
Okay.
But that's probably not top 10.
Do you have Isle of Cats right now? Or
I have Isle of Cats, and
does Chris still have
Chris does not have it anymore.
He held it hostage for years.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, I don't know how long he had it and didn't play it. He's gonna have to play it if we're gonna do it on the show. That's so there you go. So that was number 4, Isle of Cats. Number 3 on my list. We're already getting to the top 3.
These are the best games
These should
he has ever played.
As the old coach for K-State used to say, the cream de cream.
All right.
That's how good they speak English out in
the cream de cream.
K-State, at Manhattan, Kansas. Anyway, the cream de cream. Number 3 is Pan Am, one of Daniel's favorite games.
Love it. I love it. I love that you can go to a deck and get a 5-level plane or a 1-level plane. great. It's wonderfully balanced.
Anyway, if you haven't played Pan Am, it's about the history of airline, and so it's like when Pan Am was about to take over the whole world of airline, basically, and so own your own little independent airline, and you're establishing routes all around the world with a really cool map from a different kind of angle than you usually see. First, I was like, why isn't this the map of the whole world? I'm like, oh wait, it is the map of the whole world. It's just on there in a weird way where
it's just not America's not center.
It's so weird. Why isn't it just a huge America and then just little bitty dots?
Yeah,
that's the way it should be. Just kidding. But it's in a different funky. Maybe because they're trying to show routes better. I don't know. No. But very cool game. I love worker placement games anyway. Yeah, that's usually one of my top deals. And so the man, you talk about crunchy decisions with this one too, because you've got Ticket to Ride style. Yeah. You've got those cards where it's like, well, if I have 2 cards for this city, boom, I can put it there. I can put 2 cards for city. You can put one anywhere, but you lose your cards. That's like one of the biggest decisions out there. Okay, it's like, well, am I ever going to use this city? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll turn them in. But then you have to get another city to do something else. So it's creating more work for yourself down the road. So it's really cool decisions on it. And it's also a race because it's like, well, he might get that route beforehand. So yeah. Very cool. And don't play it 2-player. I'll say that.
I won't.
Please don't.
Promise.
2-player takes all the fun decisions out of the game. It's so wide open. You never really compete for routes until the very end. So it's kind of a drag. But anything else, 3-4 players is great.
Cool. I have a fun little story about Pan Am, and it's not to diss the game. Okay. But this was a non-gamer, and they were like, hey, I found this game at Target. It's Pan Am, and it looked really interesting. So we bought it. We got it set up. We don't know how to play it. Yeah. Like, we don't know how to start. Like, we don't know how. And I was like, you mean like who starts? She's like, no, I don't know how to take an action. And I was like, oh, like it's a worker placement game. I said, so you just choose an action. She's like, what?
Yeah. What do I roll? How do I get to a space?
It was a really interesting conversation. So, but yeah, Pan Am, that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, and it is definitely still in my top 10.
Cool.
So there you go. These creme de la creams. Maybe that will be the choice. We'll see.
Yeah. The future spirit.
Maybe. All right, on to number 2. Number 2 is a really good game.
This is a good one.
It's another worker
placement
placement
game.
With
you on this one.
And we've spoken about it on the show recently a couple times.
Yeah.
The Godfather, Corleone's Empire.
It's an offer you can't refuse.
Oh my gosh, this is a good game. Holy cow.
It really is.
I've never not enjoyed playing a game of The Godfather, Corleone's Empire. And I know people that have. People that have hated
our
this
friend,
game.
The Marshes.
Yes. Yes. But actually, I learned something from him. I think if he didn't win, he almost won the game that he played. And he did no area majority stuff at all. Didn't even try.
Wow.
Which you can get away with that in a 5-player game, I think, if it's balanced.
Yeah.
If somebody's not running away with it.
Yeah, because if each person wears one thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you're making your money other ways. Because then you're not worried about, they took my guy out. Who cares? I don't care. I wouldn't even try. So I kind of learned that in the bigger player games. Maybe don't worry about the area control.
He doesn't worry, and I take his areas.
But then I played, and I say most of the times I play this game, it's at the max player count. It's at 5 players.
Fair.
And so it always kind of has the same feel. And then I played it with my brother and his niece.
Okay.
So it was just 3 players, and I was like, that is a quick, fun game of Godfather.
All right.
And they didn't pay any attention to the majorities, and guess who had all the majorities? So yes, like I'm telling them what's going on.
Nice.
Oh well, it's not the first time you played a game, but
yeah, that's a good game. We really like it on the show. I think we all agree that it's a great game and underrated for sure. But that day when we played with the Marshes, that was funny because his least favorite mechanic is like being aggressive, and we didn't know that, so we played that followed by Root. It was one of his best days of gaming.
He hates area control and he hates being aggressive, and so we're playing those 2 games.
That's he never spoke up, so take that, Justin.
There you go. But Godfather still in my top 5. If it's not still number 2, it might still be number 2.
It could be. I thought it was your number 1, to be honest.
I did too.
Except for this next game could still be your number 1.
We'll find out. All right, number 1 on my list. Is it still number 1 on my list?
It's number 1 in my heart.
Is it really?
No.
No.
It's good, though. I like it.
Number 1 is, and we talked about this recently.
We have?
A little bit. Well, I had it featured in the show. It's a Wonderful World.
It
is. It's a wonderful world
what
in
game?
This game. That's the game. It's a wonderful world. The amazing tableau building. It's a wonderful world. And I think one thing I like about this game is how and it's not that I always just want a quick game, because Godfather obviously is not a quick game, but this game is so quick. It really sneaks up on you, and you have to get that engine up and running basically the first 2 rounds. If you don't have some kind of an engine going where you're producing something, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah. Because at least by round 4, you want to just be getting points. Boom, let's do this to get points, and this to get points, and this to get points. Unless everybody else is having a hard time too, you're going to be in trouble. The good news is, if you're having a hard time, it's a quick game and it's over. And then just, let's try it again. I'll be a different empire to start with this time. So I'll start with different things, have maybe a little different goal. But love that game. It is not my number 1 game.
It's not,
but it is definitely top 5.
So what is your number 1 game? If it's not Godfather and it's not It's a Wonderful World.
I got to tell you, right now, the game I'm feeling is number 1.
Listening.
Is probably Brian Boru.
Oh my gosh!
I love Brian Boru. Oh my gosh, I just love it.
Brian Evan recently told me that about you, and he's like, Brian Boru.
Really? Why does everybody get so tripped out when I play Brian? Why am I not supposed to like Brian Boru?
I don't know. Just seems odd is all. It's probably a fine game. I still haven't played it. I won't play it out in principle now.
You haven't played it?
Maybe I have.
Oh my gosh!
I don't remember.
Well, we're not.
My principle is.
But anyway.
Chris wants me to play it.
Oh, hey, that's why you don't want to play it. Okay. Anyway, we're not talking about Brian Boru. No. We're talking about It's a Wonderful World, which it's still an amazing game. I think it might shoot up to number 1 again if I ever get to play with my second expansion I got.
Which we need to play.
Which we do.
It's a campaign, right?
Yeah, War and Peace, I think, or War or Peace, or something like that. Where, if you win, you get certain things for the next round. And basically, you play 3 games. I think whoever wins the 3rd game is basically the actual winner.
Okay.
So, that's something.
I love dystopian games, so this is definitely up there.
I don't know why that would matter.
Because it's dystopian world.
I don't understand. All the cool things they have in the game.
Let us know. Is Wonderful World dystopian?
Or is it a Wonderful World?
Or is it a Wonderful World?
Of course it's a Wonderful World.
A little tongue-in-cheek. All right.
So there we go. None of mine stayed where they were, I don't think.
Well, no. I think your top...
Godfather
Your
did,
top 3 at least stayed in your top...
did, yes.
Your top 3 are at least in your top 10 still.
Yes.
So not bad. Not bad. You've changed a little bit.
I have. I feel I've grown.
Yeah. You got more with the Cult of the New as the years have went on.
I have, definitely.
So Chris will be proud of you. You know, I joked around, though. Honestly, all those games are games that Chris likes.
That's
Splendor,
what's funny.
Catan,
That's what's funny is I consider us having very different tastes for the most part. So maybe it's just been over the last couple of years.
There you go.
Who knows?
Yeah. So
anyway, that was my top 10 revisited from 2021.
That's right.
That's right.
And I'm going to start a series of doing my top 100. So after you watch this, go ahead and check that out. It should be starting here.
My God, you can't even let me have my own.
Well, I got to
glory
promote.
Here. You got to talk about yourself.
That's right. As I do that the best.
All right. Well, that's all we got for now. Let us know in the comments what you think. Do any of these deserve to be in anyone's top 10? And other than that, we will see you around the board.